Welcome back to my channel. My name is Abdul Wasiu, and here with me is Wasiu. We're going to be talking about communication and safety practices in Nigeria, in aviation basically. But before we even go into aviation, communication and safety practices cut across every aspect or every discipline in our life. But we are going to just be talking about the aviation sector. So, Wasiu.
Yes.
First of all, what is communication from an aviator's aspect?
Well, if you're an aviator, communication is very important. I mean, even aside from as an aviator, you have to aviate, navigate, and communicate in that order, in that sequence. So, if you're an aviator, you should be able to communicate. If you cannot communicate, I mean, especially as a pilot, you're a very bad pilot.
Sorry to cut you short. Is this the way pilots are supposed to dress? You look like someone that's going to.
Yeah, of course. Pilots are meant to dress very well. I mean, elegantly. I mean, you have to present yourselves very well. You don't just dress anyhow.
I apologize.
No. That's pardonable for now, though.
Alright.
I mean, so for instance, in aviation, when you are communicating, like we like to keep it very short and simple. You don't just say ambiguous stuff because of congestion. Because there are two. For example, in a very busy airport or aerodrome where the traffic there is actually much, I mean, you don't want to stop other persons from establishing contact with the air traffic controller.
Sorry. A lot of viewers out there, they don't really understand some of those terms. First of all, who are we communicating to?
Well, let me start with this. In aviation, we have a standard physiologist.
Okay.
I mean, we don't use the normal alphabets like A, B, C, D.
Oh,
we have
different times.
we have the alpha for A, Bravo for B, then up to Z for Zulu.
Oh.
So in a way, we have, this standard physiology. For example, if I'm going to say, if an ATC personnel is giving me some clearances like, so person, please after takeoff, turn to so direction and all. Instead of me to start saying all those things like blah 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 blah, I can just say will go. Will go simply means will comply. Like I've urged you and I will comply. So I don't have to say okay. So after turning this direction, I should do this. No. You don't have to say these things. Just keep it short and simple so that you don't just create congestion.
So once you begin to you want to fly now. So every aspect of you, every aspect of your process, you need to communicate to the traffic. The air traffic controller.
Yes, you need to communicate.
Before takeoff, you need to communicate to them.
Of course,
you take off.
Yes, in fact, it is the air traffic controller that will clear you before you can take off. If it doesn't clear you, if they don't give you the parameters with which you fly or anything, like you obviously cannot just go into the air because there's nobody that will guide you.
Sorry to cut you. For instance, now you're going on a flight and you want to communicate with the air traffic controller.
Yeah.
So how do you identify yourself? Would you say, "Hey, my name is Wasiu. I want to do this"?
Well, the standard is you before you start your engine, you communicate with your air traffic controller using your call sign.
What's the
call sign? That's the registration mark, the aircraft registration mark, and the nationality mark. Like for Nigeria now, the nationality mark for Nigeria is 5 November. So the registration mark now will now be given. It's always designated to aircraft by NCA. It's not even NCA. It's ITU. So those are the people that actually give you the code. But then, if you want to start your engine, you want to do anything at all, before you communicate to the tower, you call your call sign. Like for example, Ilorin Tower. This is 5 November Alpha Bravo Charlie. That 5 November Alpha Bravo Charlie is your call sign. Which you need to call first to the tower so that the tower will be able to know, this is the person that is talking to me, and so that I can, there are what we call read back messages. So the tower also read back to me, and there are some messages that I have to read back to the tower once they give me those messages. So the tower will make sure that to ensure that he's talking to the right person, he or she will have to call back my call sign to know that am I really talking to this person? So in that way, you know that okay, we are going to communicate with each other. So you don't have to take another person's class or information and go and ask.
So I'm actually curious, and I know most of my viewers out there are curious. Let's say, for instance, now you're traveling to China or India, where English is not their official language. Yeah. So how do they communicate? Like, how did somebody from maybe Nigeria communicate with somebody in China or in India?
Well, I believe these things are. I mean, English is universal to some extent. I mean, universal to some extent. But then, you know, we already have in aviation, there are already the standards, like standard physiologies, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so the standard is irrespective of where you are.
Irrespective of where you are, you have to use the standard. I think the only thing that changes is this under the alphabet is letter W. That letter W for Nigeria. I mean, for every other country, it is risky. But you know, Saudi Arabia, I mean, of course, it's Islamic nation, or how do I put it? They find against liquor, alcohol, or any stuff. So instead of that, they use water. But to some extent, anyways, English, you find people speaking English, of course. I mean, because obviously it's a general language that everybody understands better. Of course, because I want to fly your country does not mean because I want to fly from Nigeria to maybe China. You didn't expect to come and to start learning their language there. I mean, there should be a general language with which we can all communicate with.
So, for instance, now a co-pilot and a pilot, even if the pilot or the co-pilot is from another part of the country or part of the world, the person has to understand English language.
You have to understand. In fact, English proficiency. I mean, everybody has to understand English. As a pilot, you should know how to speak English. It's a general thing.
Because I've heard a lot of accidents that are caused all because of bad communication.
Yeah, and that is why this physiology actually being introduced. Like it should be general. Like everybody should know how to use these things very well to just reduce the problem of. I mean, how do I put it? You not understanding each other and all of that.
Yeah, for the safety practices.
Okay.
Are there regulatory bodies? You know, for instance, now you're driving on the road. Yeah, if you disobey any of the rules, you need to be fined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So for aviation, are there regulatory bodies?
Yes, there are regulatory bodies, of course. For especially in Nigeria, we have the NCA, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay.
Those ones, they're in charge of every what do I put it? Aviation related issues in Nigeria.
Okay.
So once they are being given any directive by them and you violated such directives, they fine you. I mean, they just.
So what are some
consequences? Well, you might sometimes they might restrict your license. Sometimes you might be grounded for life. Like
Wow, that's
you have been given a directive and you are not actually following the directive. They'll just grind it for life. Or sometimes you just have to pay a certain fine or go on suspension or anything.
Aviation seems very, very fragile.
Yeah, fragile yet interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. Like if you can play by the rules, like you play by the rules. I mean, you do what you're supposed to do at the right time, and I mean, you're good to go.
So that means they train you guys how to
comply with rules and regulations and all of that. I mean, both in air and on land. We are both. I mean, we're all trained in that aspect to actually comply with those rules. So,
so for the viewers out there, you guys have heard what Captain to be Wasiu said. So all of you that are aviation lovers, you love something that has to do with airplanes or aircraft, don't feel out of the box. Yeah, although you need to follow regulations and you need to follow procedures. So I want you guys to subscribe to my channel, like my channel. Stay blessed. Take care. Thank you.